This is what happens when you get reactive with your wife. This video, and I'm going to say this from the start, is only for people who want to protect or fix their relationship. If you're comfortable being this person, right, that's constantly reactive and feels like it's on the wife, please leave, okay? Because this is about 10x in your leadership. I don't have time to explain to you why you shouldn't necessarily brush off an opportunity where you can actually gain the capacity to build your leadership, right? So scroll off if you're this person and want to stay that person, okay? People, this is what happens when you react with your wife, okay? This is what a lot of men don't get about reactions, okay? So first things first, as you can see, beautiful drawing that explains the scenario, okay? Put it this way, the best way to describe this is rock against rock, because there's friction on the floor. That friction on the floor becomes a crack. The more the reactions, the more that crack creates until this divorce, break up. A lot of relationships, for men in particular, are the spaces where they feel stable, they feel grounded, they feel like they can focus on one person and go out there and make the most amount of money and make the most for their families and whatever the case is, okay? So your identity is attached to the relationship working quite effectively and well. I only know this so well because I was in that same boat to be exact, 5 times. And the 5th time, I had to ask myself, maybe I have to do this differently. Because I saw this happen every single time. And this was, the reaction doesn't necessarily need to be you screaming and being, ah! No. The reaction sometimes can be, I don't know what to say. Reaction is the opposite to response. And response is a competent action. Okay? Reactions is a signal of incompetence. Okay? Response is you saying, I am competent enough to answer this responsibly. Okay? Every single time you're like, I don't know what to say. Or you go berserk and say, there's an invisible tally, right? It happens once, it happens twice, bang. It happens once, it happens twice, bang. It happens once, it happens twice, bang. It happens once, bang. And based on this person's capacity, imagine it's like a tail. And the more you add to that, the more bang. You see what happens here? Your response or your reaction will feed into the stability of the relationship. And the only reason why you react is because your identity is dependent on an unstable ground. When your relationship is stable, things are great. When your marriage is stable, things are great. You're able to thrive. You're able to go out there and know that your woman has your back, and bang. Do you know how many men, right, need their relationship to be stable to operate effectively? I was one of them. The problem is when your identity, and by the way, this isn't happening because of them. This is happening because you've made this equation without your knowledge, right? You've made your reactions a direct contributor to your stability. And your reaction is not a competent action, it's the actual opposite. It's incompetence. And what do you do at work when you're dealing with someone that is constantly incompetent at delivering an outcome? You get rid of them, right? I mean, that's if you're a good manager. There was a guy who, I think the first person I had to fire, black guy. So I'm like, whoo, black power. Like I've just become a manager. So I'm like, listen, I'm here for my brothers, man. I already know what it's like. I was applying for sending out 300 CVs a day. So I'm not about to look out for the people I care about, my people, right? First thing happens is he lied on his CV. He said he had a car, and then he also said he had license. So he came in, he said, yeah, I'm in the process of getting it. I'm literally about to get it. So we're like, okay, right, cool, bro. 2 weeks in, yeah, what's going on? You got your license? Yeah, nah, trying to book the test, but I can't really find anything. Oh, so you haven't booked it yet? Well, you told us you booked it. Yeah, I know, but... So if you know how a estate agency works, you have to go out to properties, drive in, and even if he didn't have a car, it's fine. We could have gotten a company car, right? But if he doesn't have a license, it's physically impossible for him to do the job without it affecting the office. So we are left with one choice and one choice man. We had to get rid of him. Why? Not because he wasn't a nice guy, okay? I want you to understand that your reaction or your response, I'm going to put reaction here. Has nothing to do with your morals. You can be as nice as you freaking want. Your incompetence is expensive. And it's not expensive to them, by the way. If they have the capacity to handle this is dependent. This is dependent on her tolerance. Low tolerance, low capacity to handle this. Okay? Low capacity. So this is a tolerance. Okay? This. Right? So her tolerance is literally down to her standards, what she believes about herself, her self-worth. Self-worth, standards, desire, alignment. Okay, and so much more, but we're going to stick to these four. So her capacity to tolerate you will be based on her self-worth. She has low self-worth, you're in. You have to worry about a thing, because she genuinely believes that she deserves you. See, that's the best she's going to get. So she's going to stick right through it and not worry about anything. This is for you as brothers. It is your job, and it is imperative for you to teach your sisters and your daughters how to have a very good or decent level of self-worth. I'm not talking about entitlement. Self-worth is, this is my standard, and it's completely independent of what other people perceive of them. This isn't about building the ego. This is about telling someone that at this level, for instance, if I now said to you, okay, think of the first job you had, right? And then I said to you, I've got an offer that offers exactly that with £1 extra. Would you take it? No! You don't have to think about it. You're like, what the, are you crazy? What are you talking about? No way. Why? Because their self-worth, or your self-worth, doesn't allow you to do that. Right? And that is the problem. When you set a terrible example of how you treat women, of how women should navigate this space and whatever, they're now seeing, oh well, based on what I'm seeing, I kind of deserve it. It's kind of what I'm used to. Oh, that's cool. Yeah, you're gonna cheat, that's fine. My brother does it all the time. My dad, yeah, he's been cheating this whole time. Yeah, it's fine, don't worry. Why? Because they internalize what they see. So her self-worth creates her tolerance. Cool. The next thing is kind of attached to it, what is the standard? The standard is, this is the life I want to live, and this is the capacity I'm happy to meet whilst I'm living that, right? So in other words, this is based on my identity. So your identity is created by your standard, right? So it's attached to your self-worth, but slightly different here, because their standard is a byproduct of their identity. So for instance, my standard when it comes to gym is 5 days a week, right? My standards when it comes to content creation is, again, showing up every day. Why? Because of my identity. I'm a content creator, or I am an individual who shares extreme value on a daily basis online. That creates a standard which leads to the behavior. Then desire, right? Desire is, how much do I crave this type of person? All right, that's biology. That overrides a lot of things, unfortunately. Okay, so if I really crave this person, so for instance, people ask, oh, how is it that women like men who are they're just brokies, or they're broke, right? They don't align with their standards, their self-worth. They're just like, why are you tolerating that? Their desire. Okay, we need to stop acting like that isn't real for human beings. Your desire is attached to what makes you move. If you inherently find something attractive that is so bad for you, again, this is where you have to do the work. You have to do the inner work. I was attached to women that resembled my biological mother, and as much as I have no hate towards her, I had to figure out a way to stay the hell away from that, because that would just repeat what I'm used to. Okay, so you need to be very conscious and intentional about what you desire. Last but not least, alignment. Okay, if this person aligns with what they want to build, for instance, this is where the dreams come through. I want to be a princess. I want to have a soft life. The guy now gives you money every single day. Okay, you now have tolerance for this guy, and you're not supposed to. Why? Because as much as it aligns, you're not supposed to have a desire for this person. Why? Because this person doesn't align with your standard. Because this person is taking advantage of your self-worth, which is already at a low level. High self-worth, high standard, high desire, high alignment lead to a better outcome, right? But that makes this much lighter. You're not going to tolerate that amount of disrespect or reactions. You're not going to tolerate that amount of incompetence, right? I was being interviewed for this financial institution in Dubai, and I had to go through like 8 stages of the interview. Do you know how many stages I had to go through everywhere else? Because I was headhunted, 0. I already had the proof. But even then, because I had the proof, because of how they were paying 6 figures from the jump, they had to vet me, right? And that's how you should treat your dates market, but that's a different topic. Right, so going back to the expense of incompetence, right? That incompetence tips. Your identity is now based on the relationship. Your identity now cracks. Because of the crack, you end up with a divorce or breakup where you can't recover or you lose yourself. Now this is very serious, because as a kid, I saw my dad go through that. Most importantly, when I work with my clients, I see this over and over again. Okay? I need you to understand, you want to get as far away as possible from divorce by being very aware of alignment, accountability, emotional intelligence, how they deal with their trauma, and most importantly, leadership alignment. Okay? Once you have these 5, you have a chance at holding this thing together, regardless of where they come from, regardless of what culture they're in, and whatever they've been told growing up by a lovely parents who were trying to do the best they could. Right, so my point is this. Your incompetence is expensive, and especially when it comes to reaction, right? And when you now become reactive, every single time you do it, it's like you're jabbing, okay? So jab, 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 back and jab, bam. At some point they're gonna feel it here and then duck. They duck, they break. So my point is this: stop reacting. Okay? Even if you don't want to respond, okay, yet pause. Because by the time you pause and you give yourself enough time to think, you may not cause as much damage, because the moment you react, you start to add numbers. But this is exactly what happens when you don't react and you respond instead. Yeah? The only way you can do that is by pausing. You pause. And I want you to understand that you pause not based on her, but based on you. And the only way you can do that is by remaining stable within. You need to face the storm and say, I am not going to allow you to move me. I understand that she's angry. I understand that I am angry. But actually, I'm not angry because I'm the person that's observing this. I'm the king of the village. So I am going to observe this emotion and allow things to be things. And it's okay. I can feel the anger, I just don't need to react on it. Or even if I can feel it, this is the response that I believe is appropriate for me to get the outcome I want, which is to maintain the bridge, the connection. You can only maintain that bridge by stop throwing things at it that may tip their ability to tolerate what you're doing. And this isn't done by people pleasing. This is why a lot of people get wrong. Because remember, this has nothing to do with people pleasing. This has nothing to do with people pleasing. None of this has anything to do with people pleasing. This is why so many people go wrong. Because you're trying to people please someone whose tolerance is based on their alignment, their desire, their standard, or their self-worth. You're feeding the wrong tree. Do you know where people pleasing goes? It goes in reaction. And the more you people please, the more you go back to this. Because what is people pleasing? A reaction. What is a reaction? Incompetence. Your incompetence at showing up appropriately is what's going to cause the relationship to break down, the marriage to break down. So you need to have the response. You need to that was it. You need to be able to act responsibly, which means have the ability to respond in a competent manner. Okay? Once you understand this, okay, you're going to save yourself from all of this. And God forbid you still go ahead with this because this may have tipped a long time ago. Guess what? You remain stable because your identity is no longer dependent on this cracking or not. Okay? Now, if you want to work with me on a one-to-one basis and you feel like you've done too many of these, you've shown too much incompetence, I will show you how to become competent in how you respond. Okay? No gimmicks, no fluff. I've stopped using ChatGPT, I use Claude, but I just thought I should say that anyway. If you know, you know. Was it private joke? Okay, cool. So I really hope this video has helped. It helped you understand how much it's costing you showing up in an incompetent way in your marriage or relationship. And I really hope that by the end of this video, you can make a decision in regards to fixing that so that this doesn't repeat itself ever again. My name is Matt. I guess we're done here. See you in the next one.